Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Father Loyola Amalraj. I'm sorry I was away for quite a few weeks. Today, I would like to comment about Mark's Gospel, chapter 2, verses from 13 to 17. And that was reading for the first Saturday of the first week of the year. I was so moved by this Gospel. As we see, Jesus comes along and invites a Levi and son of Alphaeus to follow him. Later on, he was found in the company of great sinners, tax collectors, and so on. And therefore, these people who worked for the Roman government and oftentimes used extortion were isolated by the Pharisees. And they were surprised to see that there were tax collectors and many sinners who had surrounded Jesus. The gospel says he was often found in their company. So, in response to their remark, Jesus says, "Those who are well do not need a physician, but the sick do. I did not come to call the righteous, but sinners." So, he points out to the sickness that the sinners go through. And the sickness is not about their behaviors that are seen outside, but he goes to the very bottom of what is really causing them to sin. I was reading an article about the teenage mass shooters. A lot of these people have felt excluded, socially left out, and rejected. According to Van Riel, the one who studied. Studies also show that social rejection at school is associated with higher levels of anxiety, depression, and antisocial behaviors in children. Many, though not all, of the perpetrators have experienced childhood traumas such as physical or emotional abuse and unstable families with absent, violent, and alcoholic parents or siblings, and most of them have experienced losses. So deep down, there was this unacceptance, unworthiness they felt, and therefore they wanted to destroy themselves and others. And Jesus goes to the very bottom of this isolation that they were suffering from, and therefore he would include them, realizing that no amount of fear, guilt, or shame is going to turn their lives around, but instead he shows some mercy, unconditional forgiveness, because of which they would realize that there is someone who would accept them in spite of all of the unworthiness and failures they experience. Therefore, they can trust God. So this trust then would bring tremendous transformation in them, as we would see in another tax collector named uh, Zacchaeus, short man, and so on. So for us, the lesson is not to be taken away by biases, prejudices, and so on when we see the external behaviors, but to going to the very bottom of the situation, as Jesus said, then we should be able to embrace ourselves and others with all of our and their imperfections and see ourselves as valued by God, regardless of our external failures, losses, and behaviors. Am I willing to reflect Jesus' ways in my ways?